Hi, welcome to another lesson, another Fiddlehead fiddle lesson. Thanks for making it. And this lesson is on macro practice. It sounds kind of like dry or scientific or something, but it's actually an idea for you to enjoy practice more. Along with micro practice, which I did a previous lesson on. Basically, I want you to practice in a productive and fun way. And so micro practice, as we learned earlier, is about details. Trying to find the things that are hard and not just avoid them, but work on them, all right? And I have a link to that video below. This lesson's on macro practice, which is just basically saying, let's make it through the whole thing. And maybe more than once, maybe a few times, and get the big picture. And at the same time, try to keep an ear for what's hard, and then go to those hard spots and do micro practice, okay? So it really kind of integrates both in a way. They integrate each other. So last time I was working on Swallowtail Jig. I'm just gonna stick with that. If you don't know the tune yet, I suggest just finishing the video and seeing what I'm talking about and then applying it to any music you may be working on right now. All right? But I will put a link to how to play Swallowtail Jig below in the comments field. All right, so say you've just learned the tune, you've learned all 4 quarters of Swallowtail Jig. You do your best to make it through. So you play it. Hit something wrong, see if you can recover. And you keep going through the whole tune. Oh, you did the same mistake, but that's okay, just try to make it. So the idea is you're starting to get the whole picture, all right? And you'd maybe do that once or twice. Just force yourself through it, your way through it, and then step back and do some micro practice. So go in and see what was hard. Well, I think this part was hard. So I'm gonna go practice just this. And once you get that down, go back to your macro practice. See if you can make it all the way through the tune. I guess a fundamental take-home message of this whole lesson is just keep going. You know, like just trying to make it through a song and see what happens. And in a kind of a cool way, you could look at your whole like learning experience as a musician and a fiddler is the same way. You may kind of fall off the wagon with practice and not do it for a week or 2 or whatever, but if you just have that intention to keep going, then when you get back to it, you'll be like, oh cool, I'm doing it again. And you'll learn a lot from that whole process. All right, so another thing you can do on a macro practice level to get the whole thing, see the forest for the trees, is to listen to the tune. And I don't even have to do anything right now in the lesson. I just am asking you to listen to it. Go on YouTube and listen to different versions. Get it ingrained in your head so that when you go to play it, you'll kind of like have a sense of the whole. The different versions will sound different, so maybe you'll want to just listen to one you're working on. It might be a good idea. Depends how your mind works. Some people like to hear all different versions. But it might be, if you're a beginner, it might be good to listen to just the recording that you're working on, as closest to what you're actually working on. So some other things you can do for micro practice, macro practice, saying that you're starting to get the tune. You can then make it sound better. You can work on your timing. You can get a metronome, or here's mine. They also have tons of apps with these. The thing with metronome, and I'm gonna do a whole lesson on metronome soon, but it needs to be very loud because the fiddle's loud. But basically, starting to practice with the metronome will keep you in time. Another similar thing you can do for the macro practice thing is to use play-along tracks, and I make them for all the tunes I do on the Fiddlehead channel. So basically you're playing along with guitar and a kind of a kick drum and maybe some other instrument. So I'm going to do a little bit of that with Swallowtail. I have it queued up. Whoop, here we go. Hold, one sec. Here it comes. I'm just going to try to play along. So cool. Again, we're just trying to find ways to keep it fun, to get you to play, make it through the whole tune, see the big picture. And again, as you're going along, you may notice, oh, I did that, I messed that up. Just try to make it through, and at the end, try to remember those parts that were hard. Maybe this time, the end was hard. And then you can do like a little micro practice work. Maybe you just need to practice this. And then go back and do the big picture again, all right? The last thing I'm gonna give you, last idea for practicing this way, is just sort of things to, like ways to kind of defocus. Like the micro practice idea, the kind of analytical practice is so focused and concentrated. It's good for your brain, I think, to kind of do the opposite and just play a little bit. So like one thing that's kind of nice that maybe not a lot of teachers will suggest is to just kind of change your position. Change your position, play it. Maybe change what you're looking at. Move to a different, go look at a picture on the wall while you're playing. Maybe even walking while you play. If you feel like you can, you can start with like going back and forth. And see if you can make it through the tune. Another similar kind of strategy. I mean, these ideas fall almost more under more under like making practice fun, like fun ways to practice. But it's sort of tied in with just getting through a tune, all right? And so another thing you could do is to close your eyes and play. And you may have to start on a more micro practice level. But this is a great practice for really listening and really hearing. And if you can make it through a whole tune that way, you'll have a really good mental picture of the tune. So I think that's it for this lesson. Kind of a different lesson. And again, if you made it through, congratulations, because it's not like learning a tune where you have this huge satisfaction of like this accomplishment. It's more of like an idea though that you can take, and if you really take it to heart, these two things, micro practice, macro practice, it'll help you a lot to learn more the tunes, learn them better, and just learn your instrument better, and just enjoy the music more. It's what really I want you to do through practice. So, okay, that was awesome. I'll see you next time on Fiddlehead. So long.